Alright, so we finally had the release of Jhene Aiko's Trip album, and I listened to it all throughout. I'm going to be giving my general thoughts, and I'm going to be going through the track list, giving you my thoughts on each individual track. Now, this album feels a lot more like a playlist to me. I know if we're following the trends of the trend of albums that are coming out, they've been longer because of streaming, because people don't really buy music as much as they did in the past, and all the money comes from streaming and all that other nonsense. So yeah, I mean, this album's long. For example, Bryson, you could look at Bryson Tiller's album. You could even look at Drake's album, and compared to those two as well, I know it's not the same style of music, but a lot of those tracks on those albums and this album felt really unfinished. They felt unfinished in a way that I feel like they could have been fleshed out more and developed more. Just in general, I felt that way about Drake's More Life and about Bryson Till's album, and I feel the same way for this album. You can even tell if you go look through the track listing and just listen to it. A lot of freestyles, a lot of songs that feel like she just like went in the studio, recorded like just freestyle off the bat, and was like, all right, done. But that doesn't necessarily make it bad. We're gonna be going through the track list. So we have track 1, LSD. Now, this is basically the first track. It describes Jhene Aiko's trip while she thinks about a distant lover, and she mentions doing LSD, smoking weed, and on the fact that weed actually, like, this is an album that you would definitely play in your first time getting high. Just play this album and like trip out, but or like zone out. Definitely an album for that, anyways. So yeah, she even references how she took a tiny piece of paper and put it under her tongue. So yeah, crazy, and it's only 1 minute and 30 seconds. I know it's the first track, so we'll get into more of that later. But the next track 2, is called Yukai. Now it features like an acoustic guitar in the background, and I do enjoy Jhene's songwriting on here. I do enjoy the few lines she had about how it's not a place of not a certain evil, hell is in other people, or lack of thereof, or their lack of love. I thought that was a nice tie. Like, it sounds like a poem. It's so pretty creative. So yeah, I really did. I like this track. Track 3, While We're Young. Now, of course, this is was a single, and this song has a more R&B feel to it. Listening to this album, a lot of minimal instrumentals, but this track definitely feels like the most R&B kind is of the album. Now, I did enjoy the song. I did like her singing on the Another Perfect Day with You, Wanna Lay with You, like those couplet of lines. I did enjoy that. So yeah, very solid track. Track 4, Moments, featuring Big Sean. Now, this song is definitely probably my favorite song off the album. Now, I feel like this should be a single because I feel like this is the most like fleshed out, complete song on the project. The songwriting on this track is pretty good as well. I really did enjoy Big Sean's verse as well. I did like Big Sean has like this part at the end where it's very reminiscent of Eminem's "Lose Yourself" song, but it's like the lyrics are similar, but he sings it in like an R&B way, which makes it feel really good. Not saying the original isn't fantastic. The original song is amazing, but I like how Big Sean incorporated his other like Detroit native lyrics for this song. I love the "seize it, own it, focus it on it, our time to go and your time be on it, lose yourself and find something you won't let escape the moment." Yeah, like that whole thing I thought was pretty dope, and Jhene Aiko had a great verse as well. So yeah, love this track, my favorite from the album. Now, moving on, we have track 5, OLLA, aka Only Lovers Left Alive. Now, I really got a major 80s pop vibe from the song, and just from the instrumental. And the song also features at the end. It has a 2088 feature on it, basically Jhene and Big Sean singing simultaneously, and it actually sounds pretty nice. So yeah, great track. Track 6, When We Love. Now, this feels like a freestyle. Like the first half of his album is great, and I feel like the second half kind of like after like track 12 or 13, it kind of falls off a little bit. But this song definitely feels like lyrics are a bit repetitive, and it feels more like a freestyle. I feel like she could have done a lot more with the song, and that's like my tone for that's my feelings on other songs in the album that don't feel really finished. Now, track 7, Sativa, featuring Sway Lee. Now, I don't know why, but I got a major Miguel vibe from Sway Lee's verse. Like, he sounds like a young Miguel. I don't know why, he just does. Jhene Aiko's vocals sound a little bit like, it almost sounds like she's whispering in this track. I know Sway Lee is definitely the highlight to this song, but yeah, it's all a decent track. Regardless. Moving on, we have track 8, New Balance. Now, this is crazy because Jhene actually mentions the passing of her brother, and I love when artists get personal and have songs where only like previous fans or people who are really invested in the artist know. Like someone who was just not a fan of Jhene would have probably listened to the track and be like, "Oh, she likes a guy who's similar to her brother," but they wouldn't know that the passing of her brother, unfortunately. So yeah, deep track. I do enjoy the piano in the background. I thought that was pretty nice. Moving on, we have track 9, Newer Balance, Freestyle. Now, this I feel like should have been a fleshed out song. This is what I mean by some of the tracks on here don't feel finished. It features like a faster tempo than the New Balance song that we just reviewed. But yeah, I feel like this should have been like a full-fledged track and probably should have got rid of like When We Love. But nonetheless, moving on. We have track 10, You Are Here. This gave me like very good. I don't know why, but it made me really think of Sailing Souls, her first mixtape, or one of her first mixtapes. I'm not sure if it's the first one, but it's the first one I listened to. First project of Jhene that I listened to, and I really did enjoy that mixtape. That mixtape was amazing. Definitely go back and listen to that. That one had more of a hip hop vibe to it, but I love that project. So yeah, solid track. Track 11. Never Call Me, featuring Corrupt. Damn, this is another highlight from the album. I do love Jhene Aiko's verse. I love the chorus. I love the background vocals, and I also this song, I don't know why, but it gave me like the lyrics could have been like written for someone like Drake for some reason, but Corrupt's voicemail, Dot the Genius. Oh my God, roasted. So yeah, the major subs there. Another highlight of the track. Moving on, track 12, Nobody. I thought this was okay track. The couple lines she has about her dad being a doctor and like her getting her pills and drugs from him were pretty interesting. But yeah, that's all I have to say really. Now track 13, we have Overstimulated. Now this track, I feel like Jhene picks up. I feel like this is where the album starts to like kind of fall off a little bit. Jhene, I feel like she could have picked up the energy a little bit more on this track, but yeah, like after like Nobody, it kind of feels like the album starts to drag on. Like this definitely could have been compacted into like a shorter, like 14 or 15 track album for sure. Like I know some of these songs I would have cut out personally if I was making like a condensed project, but we're in 2017 and streaming wars, so yeah. Moving on, we have track 14, Bad Trip Interlude. Nothing too much to say. I mean, it's an interlude, so I can't really express my thoughts too much on this. Her vocals are distorted a little bit, but not as much as I feel like they could have been distorted a little more just to get that effect. Moving on, we have track 15, Oblivion (parentheses Creation) featuring Dr. Chill. That's a funny name. I thought this was pretty solid track. Some of the lyrics are a bit repetitive, but besides that, decent track. Now, moving on, we have track 16, Pillow. I probably going to butcher this, but Pillow Sivan. Parentheses, Love is in Effect. Now this is definitely another highlight of the album. I love the beat transition in the middle, even though like she comes with like really high energy in the first. Higher energy than the previous tracks on the first half, and then it slowly like dies out a little bit on the second half. But yeah, definitely one of the better tracks on the album. Moving on. Track 17, Mystic Journey Freestyle. I feel like this should have been a full track. I really did enjoy the instrumental on this track, but I feel like it could have been a little bit longer. I felt like it could have been a full track. Track 18, Perfect Pictures. I don't really enjoy this track too much, to be honest. It feels like she just went and like pulled up to her piano and was like, all right, let me play some keys and then like just sing whatever's on my mind. Track 19, Sing to Me, featuring her daughter actually. And this was really nice. This was a nice touch. I mean, hearing her daughter and Jhene sing trade lines and stuff was really it was cute. It was cute. It made me smile, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, that was a good placement there. Nothing else to say about this album really. About this song. Track 20, Frequency. This track was a little bit hard to get through. It's kind of boring if I'm being honest. Now track 21, we have A Session, and this track is actually about Jhene. Did she die in like the process of recording this album? Because like not physically, but like in the term of view, in how do I word this? In the placement of the listener, it feels like she like passed away, like she got way too high. And I mean, the song's about like ascending to heaven, so yeah, I mean, so yeah. Moving on, the closing track of is of course titled "Trip," featuring Molly Music. Now, this track, it was okay, decent track. Nothing too much to say about it at all. Now, overall, this album is feels more like a playlist than a condensed album. I feel like she could have cut some of the freestyles and some of the tracks that just ran on for a bit too long, and some of the tracks where she's kind of just like floating on the beat, not in a good way, but just like, just going off the top of her head. But yeah, I don't know. This definitely feels like something you'll play like on a long drive, or like when you want to sleep at night, or when you're like smoking with your friends or doing something like that. Definitely not too much to dissect from the project, but yeah. That's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you thought of the album. Let me know what your favorite tracks and what your highlights from the album were. And yeah, peace out.